Recently, the host of People Make Games, Chris Bratt, made a hit piece on Athene titled Investigating Athene, the YouTuber who started a religion, in which he made Athene out to be a misogynist and an emotional abuser to Katerina. This was all bullshit, of course. Katerina herself has made a video on YouTube that you can watch explaining things, so I'll just let that subject die now. If you're still salty about that, or you want to leave a comment below, feel free because it boosts my video anyway. Despite the title of his hit piece, he only briefly touched on the religion for about a minute or two. He didn't have an agenda, by the way. I hope in this video I can give a brief enough rundown of what the religion is actually about. Most importantly, I'd advise all of you to stop watching if you feel like you're not in the right mindset to critically think about what I'm about to say. For example, if you feel like you're likely to dislike this video, I'd ask you to think about why that is and think about what you really know about Athene. Do you know anything of his religion? Like actually, because Chris barely touched on it in his video. Like I said, just try to have an open mind and be more of an observer of how you're feeling throughout watching this video rather than attached to that feeling itself. This is an important video that might require some critical thinking, so just keep that in mind. Thank you. Without further ado, what is Neuro-spinozism? I think I'm pronouncing that right. So first I want to touch on the why, because it can sound kind of strange, like why has this guy started a religion? The reason that Athene and crew decided to found a religion was essentially because they were looking to have more volunteers come over to their place to help on projects and help on making the world a better place and boring stuff like that. There wasn't a strong legal framework in place in Germany to allow people to come over and stay without pay, these volunteers. Reese was having trouble with some lawyers in setting everything up to be legal and above board for volunteers to come over and stay at the place enforced, and so Athene came up with the idea of a religion. People who came over would be known as practicing Neuro-spinozists, and working at the place would be like the act of worship, like praying at a temple. This is all fine by the law, by the way. It was far easier to set up a religion than it would have been to go with anything else, and so it was a tool more than an actual goal of any kind. And so what is Neuro-spinozism? First, I'm going to explain what Spinozism is. I think it's Spinozism. Spinoism? Who knows? Spinozism is a philosophy that essentially equates God to nature, or more specifically, the logical laws and physics underpinning nature. Followers included Einstein and the beta test version of Athene, Carl Sagan. Known in pop culture as one of the smartest people to exist in the modern era, Athene being the smartest, obviously. Neuro-spinozism applies the current understanding of the way the brain works, aka neuroscience, to this philosophy, and our current understanding of just reality itself. The basic principle of the religion is to emotionally value logic and making logical decisions with the understanding that you have at the time. To be in line with reality in a sense, and to understand your responsibility for your actions, to take action, and to have your actions act in line with your beliefs. As you can see, this makes a lot of sense if you think about it with an open mind. The idea that you would always do what is logical and what is the best for everyone seems like something that just makes sense, and yet it's not an idea that many people think about. One could even argue that a lot of the suffering in the world can be correlated to not having this understanding and doing things for your own experience. People acting impulsively by emotion and doing what they feel is right, not what they know is right. An understanding of life and the idea that you're more than just yourself, you're part of a much bigger collective, that being the human race, and your responsibility to that can help a lot in framing this religion in a correct way. Remember to check out the Logic Nation website, which I'll put in the description below, to take a look for yourself at a lot of the insights that I'm about to put forward. Deep within yourself, you have an emotional drive to do the right thing. This is why good deeds and right action like superheroes or everyday heroes elicit such a positive reaction from people. Having an understanding of what's going on in the world, like the suffering and misfortune, and your responsibility to that, your responsibility as an informed individual, is a very important step in understanding this belief system. This is very much an idea that once you fully understand it, you can't let go. It's all-consuming and that it makes sense, if that makes sense. That's exactly why it's so important to have an open mind when thinking about what I'm going to say right now. Because having a deep understanding of this belief system and putting your understanding into action can yield crazily positive results, both on the world as a whole and on your individual experience, should that be what you value. Also, I would say the ability to put yourself in the shoes of someone else, projection, cognitively putting yourself in the shoes of someone else and imagining what their life is like, imagining what life is like in their shoes. This is too something that can help a lot in understanding the ideas of this religion, and just with your relationships with friends, family, and romantic relationships relationships as a whole. There are guides on the Logic Nation site as to how to make this your belief system on a deeper level, should you desire some of the suggested effects of doing so, like feeling clear-headed, a sense of being in the now or in the present, and being in a constant state of flow. These are just some of the reported side effects in individuals who have gone through this process. Your experience may be different. I'm not saying this is exactly what is going to happen to you. There are many different insights provided on the site also, like thinking in probabilities, for example, given that we exist in a probabilistic universe. People tend to think very binary, in black or white. As an example, you may feel awful if you put a lot of time, work, and effort into something yet you see no positive result. But having an understanding that not everything is binary, in fact, everything's probabilistic, this can save you from feeling completely distraught in the face of failure, which is just something to learn from. What's important is that you still made all of the right calls and the right decisions at the time with your understanding, despite everything seemingly going wrong. There's a universe where everything happens, and driving yourself towards the best outcome and being result-oriented with an understanding of probability can save you a lot with some strifes that you might have in life. Also, having the understanding that what you feel is right is not necessarily the case in reality. For example, someone might feel that it's okay for them to smoke, even though they have a rational understanding that it's bad for them. Oftentimes it's reality that dictates what you do. Reality dictates the course of your actions, not your belief system. As an example, if all the cigarettes in the world suddenly disappeared tomorrow, that person would stop smoking. It's important to critically think and to reflect on what you believe and on your actions should you want to achieve success and fulfillment in life. Your life may not be so meaningful or fulfilled if experience is your goal. This is one of the fundamental ideas of the belief system that might require some thinking. It's impossible to feel fully fulfilled and complete if you keep trying to find purpose in your experience when the real purpose for your experience is just a tool for you to evolve. The real point being just that, for life to evolve and move forward. This might be a lot to take in, and so if any of these ideas stick with you in your head, or even if they don't, I'd advise checking out the logicnation.org site for more info and coming back to it at a time when you're ready to take in more info. Most importantly, I'd advise you to remember to stay open-minded and to take your time. I've struggled and still do struggle with having my emotion be in line with a lot of these understandings, even if my rationale might be. Just because you understand something on a rational level doesn't mean that you do emotionally. People smoking again, for example. This also might be made even harder if you feel you have little control over your emotions. Things that can help with this are reframing your emotions, thinking about why you feel certain things, and trying not to be so attached to them, and acting more of an observer of your emotions rather than connected to them. Again, whether you have trouble with this or not, all of this is good, because this site provides a means for you to grow into a more responsible, well-rounded individual. The best version of yourself that you can be is something that Athene often says. This is a belief system that takes into account modern-day understanding of the brain, science, and your role as an individual of a much larger organism. What's truly important, though, is to take action with this understanding, even if you don't understand so much. That's partly why I decided to start making YouTube videos, specifically YouTube videos related to Athene, as a means to express my beliefs to myself. This is sort of meditative in a sense, and to put them into action at least a little bit by promoting something that I truly believe in and something that I know is the right thing to do. So this is why I make these videos. I try to come to a lot of these conclusions for myself rather than just taking them in as some sort of gospel. And I'm seeing a lot of growth and results already, so it's definitely working. So this is more related to my experience, but maybe making YouTube videos or just communicating how you feel about these ideas to people around you could help. I hope this video has piqued your curiosity in some way, shape, or form. I hope you're not too triggered. I tried not to go too hard. I'm just, a provider of information. I don't think people will react so negatively towards hearing this from me as they would from Athene, because I'm sort of acting as a third party in this sense. I'm just relaying what he's saying, right? But maybe that's just wishful thinking. Feel free to start a discussion in the comments below and look into these things for yourself, and most importantly, come to the conclusions for yourself. I think if you have an open mind and you truly consider a lot of what's outlined in the Logic Nation pages, you'll understand that it's been very well thought out, and it's on an understanding of reality and the truth rather than some cultist mumbo jumbo that you might have got as just an emotional reaction, an impression from the words, cult and religion. Quite negative terms nowadays. If anything, you might liberate yourself from your true cult-like brainwashing, that being your current state of mind that society and randomness is pushed on you rather than something you've really thought about for yourself. Are you really your own person? Have you ever had an original idea?
I'll decide for myself what to believe and what to pass on.
But is that even your own idea?
You lack the qualifications to exercise free will.
What's most important is not to follow blindly and think about these understandings for yourself, and rationalize them in a way that you can understand and emotionally connect to as well. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the conclusions you come to are mirrored on the site and in the belief system of those currently volunteering in Athene's place though. I'll give you one more little insight to poke you before I wrap up this video that might trigger you a little bit, but let's see. If you're watching this video right now, you have the potential to have more impact on the world than a king or queen would have in the medieval ages. You have far more comfort in your life than they ever would have too, but you're not entitled to that or anything that you have. That's not just limited to your things either, just the freedom to make the argument to say you don't feel like doing the right thing is something that you're taking for granted. There are people who slave away so that you can say that. The only difference between you or someone else, you and them, is pure luck. This understanding can help you to get over a lot of things like hating people or devaluing people and so on. The understanding that the only fundamental difference between you and anyone else is that it's just pure luck. And if you had gone through the same experiences that they had gone through, you would be that person. You can say that you don't care, but whether you care or not doesn't change reality. You might not care to eat or drink, but you still have to do those things. This is the reality of things. Despite this word religion having some negative emotion attached to it, it's just a word. This value system is built on reality and our current understanding of it rather than anything else. No more, no less. Beyond this point, there is no return. Once you've accepted some of these ideas, things will start to click and you might feel very uncomfortable. So before you start to make hate comments below, I just want you to remember one thing. Go for it. If you feel like it, just do it. It boosts my SEO. It promotes my video the more you interact with it. That's why I love arguing with people on Twitter or Instagram. You're promoting my video. Something to think about there along the lines of amygdala hijack and whether you're really in control of your actions. If you hate my video so much, why are you promoting it? Thanks for watching. Feel free to message me on Instagram, Twitter, in the comments below about this topic, about this video. Stay tuned for more videos on Athene, Clash of Streamers, Death Stranding, and other stupid videos. I'll be moving more away from those kinds of stupid throwaway videos in the future, so make the most of them while they last. But either way, I hope you think about some of what I've said in this video, and if you're angry, feel free to leave a comment because you promote my video, and maybe more people who are slightly more rational can take in the ideas. Thanks for watching my video on Neuro-spinozism. Stay tuned for next week where I'll be making a video on how to get free Steam games and much more in Clash of Streamers. Take care.